Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about a little bit of a different topic because my last video was a little bit of a heavy topic, so I thought I'd switch it up a little bit. So I wanted to cover the PrettyLittleThing rebrand because genuinely it was something that came out of left field. At least for me, I don't really keep up with PrettyLittleThing, and as someone who has lived in the UK for the majority of her life, this was actually kind of insane. So if you're not from the UK, I don't actually know how big of a thing PrettyLittleThing is for you, but for British people it's kind of like a staple, especially in your childhood. So like in late high school, early college, so around like 15, 16, 17, 18, people start going to festivals, and most girls, for at least their first festival, maybe their second festival, depends how young you started going, they would get their festival outfits from PrettyLittleThing because they literally had dirt cheap festival outfits. Now, this will probably stop being the case now because PrettyLittleThing has rebranded to a French girl old money style. Not only is it the website that has had a rebrand, but the prices have too. But I don't think the quality has followed. So I wanted to take a little deep dive into why this is. So I think the biggest cause was the fact that PrettyLittleThing's profits have been taking a nosedive. So PrettyLittleThing is part of the Boohoo group, and just looking at their stock, you can see they are plummeting down in the negatives since October 2021. Then another one of these super cheap fast fashion brands that has suffered the same fate was actually ASOS, and I know ASOS is a little bit more international than some of the companies in Boohoo group, so it's very interesting seeing this data. However, I actually found that brands that manage to keep up their company aesthetic and kind of rebrand with the trends, such as Urban Outfitters, for example, who Urban Outfitters is on a constant rebrand. Think how they jumped from like the Lana Del Rey Lolita Tumblr aesthetic to then the Brandy Melville like plain aesthetic when that was popular. Now they're just kind of doing whatever is popular on TikTok, and Urban actually has succeeded over the years, which is a stark difference compared to Boohoo group and ASOS. Obviously this kind of leads us to be like, well, what's happening with ASOS and Boohoo group? So the quality a lot of these companies produce items with is actually pretty crap, and that's not a secret at all. So when a competitor like SHEIN comes in with terrible quality, to be fair, probably even worse quality, but even cheaper prices, consumers are going to jump away from PrettyLittleThing and go to SHEIN. So SHEIN is actually reporting record profits, which isn't actually that surprising considering that they upload 10,000 of new items daily. So I think PrettyLittleThing don't want to wave their white flag, and they have instead decided to rebrand to kind of be seen as a new Abercrombie / JCPenney. And this is something that would be called a middle market brand, and these brands have also been on the decline ever since COVID. I found this article from Vogue which created this chart to show you how these middle market brands aren't doing that great either. This is because why settle for an in-between brand where a top can cost you £90, but in the fast fashion brands you can get 15 tops for £90, or if you save another £90, you can get something from a luxury brand. I think another influence to this is that PrettyLittleThing was branded heavily on the Baddie aesthetic that was super popular from 2016 to 2020. And another brand that makes me think of the Baddie aesthetic is actually Fashion Nova, with their like jeans, and seeing all like the Baddie aesthetic influencers always reviewing them or always having sponsorships with them. But if you think back to 2016, 2020, which is when PrettyLittleThing was kind of at their height, I mean, think Cardi B, think Kylie Jenner in her King Kylie era, this was very revealing clothes. The trend at the time was very revealing clothes, skinny jeans and big knee-high boots. For some reason give me the Baddie like aesthetic vibe, like if you combine them together. Skinny bodycon dresses as well. And although there are still some influencers that do have this aesthetic, it's not seen as a desired aesthetic anymore. And a lot of people on TikTok are making this pretty obvious. I'm going to show you guys a couple of TikToks in a second so you understand what I'm on about. So with the slow death of the baddie aesthetic, I think PrettyLittleThing decided to jump ship and lean into the old money aesthetic. I actually think this is very much because people are trying to come across as classy. Also, I do think it is safe to say more people are turning away from constantly wanting to be sexualized, and what better way to do it than to wear very conservative clothes. This actually does take us back to a trend where millennials wore work outfits to the club.
Someone explained to us millennials why we dressed like we were going to a corporate board meeting when we were actually going to the club. It's like we were in corporate club wear.
And this has recently actually become a trend again.
Is anybody else genuinely concerned about the fact that we're wearing business casual to the club? Because I know we're going to look back in 10 years' time and be like, why was I wearing kitten heels and a button-down shirt on a night out? It gives the same vibes as those girls in the 2010s who'd wear like the peplum top with the statement necklace. I know we're going to regret it.
And I saw this TikTok, which I'll insert in a second, which actually spoke on the fact that it may be because people are struggling to get jobs. So, you know, they have these Pinterest boards full of corporate wear, and they've also probably bought a lot of things which are for corporate wear, but they can't get a job. So they're just living their corporate life outside of corporate.
I'm kind of scared, but I genuinely think that this era of business casual wear is coming back. We're talking like mid-2000s, 2010s, where people were rocking these outfits to go to the club, which honestly kind of confuses me, but now looking back, I'm like, I feel like that was kind of a vibe. Everything about this was so awful and right at the same time. Maybe it's just the internet, but we're in this really weird era of office siren meets corporate core culture. Like, since when are glasses hot? If you told me at age 11 that wearing glasses was going to be serving at a certain point in my life, I'd be like, what do you mean it'd be serving? I think a lot of us, or at least I do, romanticize corporate culture like being a cute little like office girl because we can't get jobs. Like, I think we really like the idea of it, but not actually working. So what better way to wear all that stuff but to the club, going out to dinner? This is from the Michael Kors 96 collection, I believe, and this is just like the epitome of Devil Wears Prada cubicle girl. I feel like we really drag a lot of millennials for what they wore, but honestly, it was kind of fun. She is not only ready to meet the in-laws, but she is ready to hit a movie premiere with her giant belt sitting on her waist. I think this is a much more tasteful approach. This is everything, and when I say let's go out for dinner, I hope we're all dressing like this.
Which this did actually bring me back a lot to the jeans and an oversized blazer trend, because why were blazers so popular all of a sudden? Anyways, now that we've finished dissecting the whys of the PrettyLittleThing rebrand, I think we just need to remember that just because the aesthetic is different and more in line with what is trending today, and I'm not gonna lie, it does look a little bit more high end, the factories have not changed and neither have the materials. You are still going to receive the same quality of clothing that you were getting when you were buying your £20 festival outfit. So buying the £30 tops that they have now will not be getting you anything of better value. And I just also want to say that I will not be shaming anybody for buying fast fashion, and I do think that is negative to shame people for buying fast fashion. I mean, not all of us are in the same financial situations, but I will say that if you're willing to spend £30 on a singular top just to look old money, you can always get one for probably more than half the price secondhand on Vinted or Depop. Also, I know it's not that popular anymore, but try eBay, especially for brands that are being price hiked on Depop and Vinted, because Depop and Vinted are really weird for that for some reason. Anyways guys, thank you so much for listening. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in another video. Bye bye.